Parents think having their kids home all summer is a nightmare. Imagine being pregnant, having to be completely silent, and having to homeschool them. Like, take away the imminent threat of death, and this is still a nightmare. I love that in the same year we got to see Emily Blunt taking on the role of Mary Poppins. We got to see her completely not allowed to make any noise at all, but still being a great motherly figure. Yes, that's consistency across a breadth of genres. I know the world is already a pretty fucked up place in general, but I think it would truly break me if it came out that John Krasinski and Emily Blunt aren't actually great parents. A Quiet Place was on nobody's bingo card for 2018. Jim from The Office and his real-life incredible wife, Emily Blunt, making the standout horror film of the year. Wait a second. 2018. Get Out came out in 2018. Making one of the best horror films of the year, out of a very simple premise, a lot of very specific world building, and the scariest childbirth scene since biology class when I was 13. So Lee and Evelyn have 3 kids. Whoops, I mean 2 kids. But Evelyn gets pregnant again. Okay, hold on. Hold on just a second. You already had a child who was vaguely old enough to understand that you did all have to be quiet, and he managed to do a stupid thing that almost got all of you killed, and then you still decide to have another child after this sort of apocalyptic event, fully knowing that there is no way that this baby is going to be able to understand for years that it has to be quiet in this world, and knowing that any mistake it makes, any sound it makes at any time could get all of you killed. They play Monopoly with felt pieces, they don't use plates for dinner because they'd be noisy, and they leave sand all over the place so things are like softer to step on. God. Sand in the butt crack all the time and just getting everywhere would be the least of your problems in this situation, but imagine that being the least of your problems. Like, oh god. What a horrible world is this. Yes, it's a film that very much sets itself up with the premise going, here's what you've got, here's how they manage it, and sometimes it goes wrong and scary things happen. And then it just skips the middle of the film pretty much, yeah. This is a short film. I did not remember quite how short this was. It's barely 90 minutes long. And it very much is just a not long or drawn out opening. I'd say it feels like a regular length opening act. And then it just whomp into that finale, which is quite a long finale, but it's so tense. It's so boom, boom, boom the whole way through it that you have to describe the whole last 40 minutes as a finale. I love the concept of this movie. I was on board with it from the very first time I heard about it, and over the years I've only grown to appreciate more what they're able to do with it. I mean, seriously, how rare is it to find a horror idea and a horror film that you actually want to see a franchise made out of? Like, every single one of them basically gets turned into a franchise that they can get away with, but seeing one that you just go, oh my gosh, there is so much they can do with this. Go for it, let loose. And even more rare, they've now made 3 films in this franchise, and I still think they've only produced bangers. Honestly, I think A Quiet Place Day 1 is probably my favourite of the 3 at this stage, but this one is just so good. I love that they built outwards from the initial themes that they wanted. You know, John Krasinski wanted to make a film that talked about how much he loved his kids, essentially, and he wanted to show that and convey that. Building outwards from an emotion, from a message, instead of writing a film and going, oh, we can shove this message in there. That is so good, and it worked so well here, and I love it so much. Krasinski and Emily Blunt obviously have incredible chemistry. It would be concerning if they didn't, but it comes across so well on screen, and that can't be said of every real-life couple, I don't think. It is so rewatchable as a film. It's lost nothing for me over the years, even though I keep coming back to it thinking, oh gosh, I forgot how short it was. Is this really that good? And then I watch through it again, and it moves at the speed of lightning. It's one of the best examples of a film that feels like a roller coaster. It's so good. I also love Krasinski's character, his reaction times. God damn, he just boom into action whenever it's needed. I love it. He is Father of the Year. And if you told me that Emily Blunt at the end of the film, when she cocks that shotgun, went on to destroy the entire US Navy by herself, I would believe you. Like, it's that sort of raw mother determination. Like, she had it in spades and buckets, and I love it. I just love the film. I think it is so simple. What they went on and did with it after, it retains a simplicity to each film, which I've really loved. They don't feel a need to do a full giant description and explanation of what's going on here, what's going on in the wider world. And I love that. It gives them scope to go and do other stories if they want, but also just stop here. They've done the 3 films. I think they could just stop here, and this would just be a fabulous franchise that just sits where it is perfectly. So I'm giving what your dad thinks he'd be like in an apocalyptic situation 4.5 stars. Yes, there's so many good opportunities to go back and look at wondrous films, and you know what? The channel members help me choose throwbacks and terrible films to watch all the time, so you can subscribe, but you could also get a channel membership if you want to just torture me, generally. Yeah.